Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to this meeting of the Logan County Commissioners. Today is Monday, July 15th. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all and welcome again. So we've finished item 2. We'll go on to item 3. Any citizen desiring to be heard? All right, hearing none. Item 4, consideration and possible action to approve minutes of June 28th, 2019 and July 1st, 2019.
I'll make a motion we approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. And item number 5, consideration and possible action to approve final plat of Ashley Oaks in the southeast quarter of section 2115 North 3 West.
Man, I thought you was gonna do this up in Logan, District 3. This is way down south,
It's close to home.
close to home. Come
Yeah.
on up and let's look at this thing. Yeah, I was all excited. I thought you was doing it up there on May Avenue.
No, I want to keep that the way it is.
Yeah.
This one, 68 lots, minimum 3/4 acre.
There's language on there about private maintained.
Yes, sir.
blah, blah.
We worked with staff prior to today, got everything that they needed, put on the document.
This is in your district, ain't it, Mike?
I would think so. It's Pennsylvania. It's either mine or
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah. That's yours.
How far in is that? Pennsylvania?
About a half mile, it's a little over a half mile off Waterloo Road North.
Oh,
And
okay.
It's just right there.
Yeah, there's an addition just north of it called the River.
It's in Little Evan.
I make the motion we approve. the plat.
Second Morgan's motion.
Okay.
Well, good luck on getting them all sold and built.
And this one too.
Oh, I'm excited about it. A lot of people wanting to be in that area.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely growing.
So just these two?
Yeah. The growth is just amazing.
It is, isn't it?
Urban sprawl.
People wanting to be out of the city.
Well, they want to be out of the city, but they want the services that
That's
they
right.
get in the city. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting
It is.
dichotomy we have in South County.
Good idea.
Deer Creek Schools,
Sir?
Deer Creek Schools, Edmond North.
Yes.
Deer Creek.
Yeah, Deer Creek.
Morning, Damon.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Dave.
Must be getting close to budget time. You called me, sir. Just a quick question. You guys got a construction entrance in and out of this, or you coming in and out through just that one area?
We have an entrance right here gravelled,
Right.
and then we'll probably gravel all this on that until we can get started on it. And we'll try to take people.
It's not, I mean, it's really not in my lane, but it's just, I've seen where we try and put a little asphalt out front and you know, and then all those concrete trucks keep coming in and out of
Don't
there.
believe me, I don't.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a mess.
Especially when it gets hot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're gonna do some, we'll be different down in here too, because of any of those trucks turning.
Right.
When it's hot,
Yeah.
it just runs that asphalt up.
Any, the change in momentum of heavy trucks cause more damage on the roads than anything else.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can tell, even at the bottom of a hill, a paved road, you can tell right at the bottom where the trucks hit, starting.
Addition out east of,
You're gonna do concrete
Edmond
or
there.
asphalt?
It'd be asphalt.
Asphalt.
It really wrinkled a bunch of it.
Did I get that third one?
Guys, thank you, good luck.
Thank you very
Were there
much.
three?
Thanks for coming
Two
in.
to
Thanks.
sign.
Yeah.
Two.
Hope you come in more.
Have a good day.
Yeah, well, if there's
Thank you.
anything we can do to help, let us know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Have a good day.
I think I did.
I had you making the motion, Monty seconding it, you didn't call a vote.
So, I had my motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, let us go on to item 6. Open seal bid number 2019-CDBG-1 for road improvements in Green Oaks Ranchettes, and consideration possible action to award said bid.
We only received one bid from Atlas Paving.
Wow.
Multiple were sent out.
It was, let me see here, we sent out 9 bid packets and posted to the website.
Sounds like we've done our due diligence there. Yep. So now we just need to see if Atlas came in within reasonable budget of what we've got to spend, right? Read all those papers to say no bid?
Well, what we have there is a bid bond and the required affidavit, so it's a eligible bid, and their price is $236,000 even.
236.
What y'all speculate this at, Melanie?
We have in our budget $225,000. So about $11,000.
So CDBG is 50/50. So,
116.5 of grant, same in matching.
so how was you paying the matching?
Well, we had the 120 that we just are distributing from CBRI, plus we asked for a loan of 150 from the CBRI, which would be repaid as quickly as possible. As soon as we get that
So
money back
so-
from the grant,
so if I-
116.
If I'm reading this right, then what you're asking for is a permanent grant, is CBRI of 106,
CBRI was.
for 116, and then to borrow another 120 until we
Borrow
get,
another 100?
until we get reimbursed, and then that would be,
We have 2 actions that were taken, that
Okay.
this board approved an allotment of $120,000 to each district from CBRI. So Mike was gonna use his 120 to make his match money on this project. Then he came back to this board, and action was taken by the board to allow him
to borrow.
to borrow
Right.
the CDBG part, with the reimbursement going back to CBRI when it was received.
So, I was backwards then. The permanent grant is for 120,000 out of the.
116.
116.5 is the CDBG grant.
Okay, let me get where I'm going, okay?
Yeah.
So the 120K plus 116 is what it's gonna take to pay the whole thing, right? The 116 is borrowed until we're reimbursed, and then that goes back into the CBRI account, right? $116,000 goes back in our CBRI account. I just wanna make sure I understood it. That's, okay. All right.
From a grant standpoint, what we need to do, because we only received one bid, we just have to send them, the Department of Commerce, a letter asking permission to award it, along with a copy of the bidders list that you sent out and a copy of the proof of publication. They'll approve it. It's just a matter of going through the formalities. The other thing that we have to do is to check the SAM.gov website to make sure their registration is current. So, you guys will meet again, what day, Monday?
31st.
First is on a Wednesday. And so you could put it on the agenda to award that day, or take action on the bid that day.
So you wanna table this and then take action on it?
Because we gotta get their permission to award, and we gotta check the DeBarg list. I will not be able to be at that meeting that day, but I will send up a notice of award should you decide to award it, and also a development form.
And I did get on SAM.gov and got us all re-up for this next year. So on our side, we should be good.
Great. Make me a copy of this bid.
Melody, do we have an estimate about how many miles or tenths of a mile or whatever this is? This is it's an overlay, right? That's what we're doing.
It's approximately a mile.
Yeah. I was gonna
Okay.
say that. I can look it up.
Okay, it's about a mile.
3 cul-de-sacs, a length of road, and half a length. So,
And what was that bid, 216?
236.
236.
236 is
We're just under a
right there
mile.
about where we were looking.
Pretty close.
I'd say table.
All right. So it's
Okay.
tabled.
So we'll table this until our meeting on when?
31st.
31st. Okay, thank you. We good?
Anderson.
Okay, item 7, consideration and possible action to approve resolution renewing mining agreement with Jim Stover for FY 2019-2020. This is for the county.
Right, I just went in and
Yeah, that's, we
tweaked it.
talked. Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 8,
Put 'em over there.
consideration and possible action to approve FY 2019-2020 City Council or a City County Civil Defense Agreement.
Just the annual renewal with the city where they reimburse us each month for a part of David's salary, and they also provide one telephone line to emergency management. There's been no change.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Yeah, she just marked all the spots that are eventually gonna get different signatures.
So just to clarify, Troy, how much do they pay on this? 13,000?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact cost without looking at it. I bill them quarterly, and they send in payment for the quarterly plus reimbursement of the phone line.
So you divide 13,000 into 4 equal?
Yes, and then they also have an agreement with Cox Communications for the cable service that is being provided in here for him at no cost.
What kind of value would that be? Have any idea?
The cable bill?
Yeah.
I would say, what's a cable bill run? At minimum basic service, $80 a month.
possible action to approve corrected FY 2019-2020 software lease maintenance agreement with TM Consulting Incorporated for $21,456 for the treasurer office.
The treasurer had sent their annual software license agreement, which went through this board, and then they received an update, much like we're getting from many vendors this year. There had been an error in the calculation on the fees. It actually was about $3,000 higher than that previous. So this is to correct that for their annual software.
I so move we update or
It was
take
probably
action
on
to
the
approve the corrected software maintenance agreement for the treasurer's office.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 10, consideration and possible action to approve amendment to food service agreement for inmate meals for the period July 1, 2019 through December 29, 2019 for the sheriff's office.
Yeah, this is basically the same agreement with an increase of 2%.
Make the motion to approve.
Does it come with water or anything?
It's kind of a touchy topic right now. I'd like to defer to the 31st.
That's my pat answer. I'll make the motion we approve the amendment.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 11, consideration and possible action to acknowledge receipt of notice of tort claim from Southwestern Bell doing business as AT&T Oklahoma. Thanks, Millie. And forward to ACO County Claims.
I'll make a motion with knowledge. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I got one, I got Belmont, I got to replace the pin when they put a cable through.
Item 12, consideration and possible action to approve resolution approving renewal of interlocal cooperative agreement with Circuit Engineering number 5.
Well,
That's a deep subject.
I'll make a motion we approve.
I'll say.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Item 13, consideration and possible action to approve resolution designating official board member to Circuit Engineering District number 5.
I would nominate Marvin. I mean Monty Pearson.
Well, I don't mind doing it. I think with this, our current CED manager retiring, I think maybe we need to go down there with a different outlook and try to make that something that works for the county. If y'all want me to represent the board, I'll do it.
Well, number one is somehow or another, we need to get away from CD5. Well, we can, if we're gonna get any of those bucks or whatever, we've got to get a marriage with Oklahoma County. I don't think any other county would do it, but I would definitely feel like you would be good in that role. So, have to second your motion, get you on there or whatever.
I will second Mike's motion.
Okay,
And now we need a second.
right, a first alternate and a second alternate.
You boys don't matter to me. I don't plan on missing one, so it don't matter.
Well, that board works really close with ODOT, and I feel like you would be better as a representative, but I get a
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Again, I guess the direction I need from this board though is at our last CED meeting, they had on the agenda to opt out. Is that something this board is interested in doing, or can we even discuss that under this item?
Can we discuss that under this?
I just, maybe we do it under comments, announcements, but I just need to know this
Let's do
board's
that.
direction. So,
Let's do that.
anyway, I'm good, Martin.
Okay. There you go.
I'll fill this all in now that I know. I'll type it up.
Alrighty then. 14, consideration of possible action to approve SERB 5-year plan for 2020-2024. Since how we don't have one here, I'm saying I don't believe that we can approve anything unless we've been given a plan or been given.
I just made a copy of what we submitted last year
Right.
and brought it with me. That was
Yeah,
all
that was,
I have.
all right, thank you, ma'am.
I'm sure it's gonna be the same this year.
Oh, I
got
sure
anything
didn't change.
Oh, boy.
Well, I think there will be. I think 2 of these should be completed.
So what about the cold chain project? Is that done?
No, it's on hold right now.
Yeah.
Melberger Brawley did their typical fly-by-night job on that when they cleared the utilities for that north 2 miles. And we still got utility conflicts, so they've shut down construction. And we're still suffering through that, through the growing pains of the SERB program. And again, I think Coltrane Road, again, is the poster child for why this thing is so messed up. And when anytime ODOT gets involved in managing programs at the county level, we're in trouble. We're always in trouble. They make us take all the risk and they get all the gravy.
Did we not already have to go back and buy right away on that one?
We did
That
twice,
too?
yes, second time,
So
yes.
that's the second time. That should be through SERB money, am I correct? Buying that right away. So if there's additional right away, that also should get ponied up in SERB.
Well, the JP 31-25-1 Crescent Creek Bridge, 1.1 million. It's ready to roll now, and I think they're gonna let the contract or let the bids on it here shortly. So,
Marvin, can I ask
Yeah,
on that
absolutely,
coal
ma'am.
train? With them stopping this project from moving forward when it had already been let,
Mhm.
and I know most matching funds or grant funds have time constraints on them, is there any risk to the almost $1 million we got from ACOG?
No, once they awarded the contract, that was tied down. I think
Yes.
the contract execution now is what's being slowed down. So what we risk is the contractor pulling off of that job now and moving on to another one, and maybe not coming back for another 6 months, and delaying this getting done for another year. It's just terrible what they're doing to us.
You think they're gonna be able to finish what they're doing so they can get that road open again?
My crystal ball doesn't
Doesn't extend to that length?
go
Well,
there.
they seem to be working on it. Luther Road is still not quite shovel ready. They are still working on the pipelines there, and they still have not moved the electric and the telephone, which are going to be minor compared to the oil lines, but that should be pretty well shovel ready here shortly, and then ODOT can put it on its list of roads that they can fund whenever, along with everything else in here. The Waterloo I-35 project, which we're all of us quite concerned with that one. I mean, that is interested, not concerned. But they still have not had their plan in hand. The job number on that, by the way, is the job number for the entire project. It just extends that project to the mile section lines. so it's the same JP number, if you ever wanna put it on there. I can
It's
get
the
it
same
for you.
JP number as what?
As the Waterloo I-35.
The ramp number? But
Right,
see, I never saw that.
yeah,
so
right, okay, yeah, no
If you
problem.
can get it for me, I'll put
I
it on
can do
there.
that, definitely can. So, anyway, those are the two that are in my area, and, you know, like that coal train phase 3, that's gotta come completely out of CIRB money. And I really think that should be included on this.
What was that, Mike?
I don't see it on here.
Which, what was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Coltrane Phase 3?
It's not on here.
Uh-huh.
It's not on here, and that's one
That
of the-
has to be totally from CIRB.
Well, I mean,
You're not gonna get STP for it, right?
I doubt if it ever qualifies for STP money,
Oh, no, it won't.
especially when ACOG gives $9 million to Oklahoma City for bicycle paths and sidewalks instead of funding road projects. We're
Right.
never gonna qualify for another federal grant.
Exactly, because it got a waiver by ODOT to do a 3-lane with curb and gutters.
Right, I'm not sure. So anyway, yeah, I recommend we do put that, phase 3, that 1 mile on there. It needs to get finished. I mean, we're doing that project over at Green Oaks, right? But
Right.
if those folks over there have got a mile of nasty road to drive on to get in and out of a new roads in their housing division, it just doesn't make
Right.
sense to
So
me.
can we add that to this 5-year plan, approve the 5-year plan?
Well,
Or you got something that you wanna look at?
No, that's, and to me, that's a priority for our South County. That, what I really wanna look at for our 5-year plan, ODOT says that the CERB program is there to help counties do things they normally wouldn't be able to do by themselves without additional funding, by themselves. Over a 5-year plan, if we're given an equal share of the division funds of 15 million, that's 1.6 million, or 1.3 million dollars a year, 1.6 million a year per county. That's 8.3 million on a 5-year plan. So we should be able to do what best supports the growth in our county. We've got areas that are growing so fast we can't keep up with them. We can't keep asphalt under them. We can't keep roads under the cars that people are driving today. And then we've got ODOT. I mean, we say we want to get along with them. I want to get along with them as well. But when they're making decisions on where we need to put new roads and bridges, instead of letting the Board of Commissioners determine what best supports our county and our growth, then there's something wrong with that program. And that's my biggest challenge with this whole thing. Waterloo Roads is a good example of that. We've got about 6 miles of Waterloo Road that's just falling apart, and we can't afford to fix it. Oklahoma County and Logan County can't afford to fix it on our own. Waterloo Road's a really good CERB project, but we can't. Right now, they don't want us to do overlays with it. They won't allow us to do things like chip seal and scrub seals and that kind of stuff with CERB money, because it doesn't generate it's not a couple of $1 million project. And they like doing the $1 million projects because the increments on doing inspections and such on those are a lot better than on letting counties do their own thing. I think if we're gonna do this, we really need to get that squared away with ODOT. I'm gonna continue to pursue that path. With that, I'm gonna call for a vote.
So do we need to add phase 3 of Coltrane?
Yes.
You got a JP number or not?
I have one back at the office.
Okay.
I would ask that these were done per ODOT last year. We had to literally prioritize, so these were put in the order that this board prioritized these projects for last year. So if you're gonna add one, are you gonna change the priority levels?
Well, I mean, Coltrane's where phase one started,
Yeah, that's already,
right?
in the works.
Well,
I-35, who knows?
the Crescent Bridge is,
22.
it's shovel ready, it's supposed to be on the.
So it'll
levee.
come off for,
Right. So I would
Right.
say that's be up on number 2 priority list.
Right.
Your Crescent Creek Bridge?
Yes.
So we just bump Waterloo, I-35 up to 1, Crescent Creek to 2, Luther Road 3, and then Waterloo phase 3. I mean, Coltrane phase 3 as the 4th priority.
That'd be my
Go ahead.
motion.
I just wanna make sure I understood, because Coltrane phase one's already on there as number 1, and you just said bump Waterloo to number 1, so I just wanna make sure.
Well, it's already started. It's already,
So
the
it should
contract's
be-
already laid.
it'll come off.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
It's-
Waterloo becomes number 1, Waterloo I-35 becomes number 1, Crescent Creek Bridge becomes number 2, Luther Road becomes, did you say 3?
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, I just thought we'd move everything up 1
And then
and then add Coltrane phase 3 to the 4th priority.
Coltrane phase 3 is shovel ready.
It is.
Okay.
That's my motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And do you want me to retype this and send it to Carol, or what are we
Please.
doing?
Yes, because I think they need it at the next state meeting.
Okay.
Good deal.
All right, so we did vote on 14, right?
Yes.
Okay. Item 15, consideration possible action to appoint members to the North and East Logan County Emergency Medical Services Board. Sir?
ADC.
I was a bit disappointed in the number of applications
Yeah.
that were from.
As y'all know, we have talked about this in meetings, so it's been broadcast. I know it's been covered by local media. We've put it on the website for months and months. I sent you all the applications we have. I will clarify that Monty Lehrman did submit, and his email he didn't complete, so I couldn't send him an email. I did call the number and left a voicemail, but he has not returned the call. The others in your stack, I did get emails back from last week that they are still interested in serving.
Well, I would make a motion that we approve all the applications that were received, so we can have quorum. And if Monty Larman actually wants to opt out, he can, but.
Go ahead and appoint him, include him in it.
I say we do. He turned in an application, and I know him well, but.
So we have one per school district. Some of those, the way I read it was Mohawk, Orlando on 3 of those. So are 2 of them gonna be then at large?
Well, there's 2 from Covington Douglas on
Okay.
there, and there's, I think,
Bob
3.
Jones.
Bob Jones is Luther.
Is Luther.
I know Bob.
Luke Martin is Mulhall. Curtis Taylor is Marshall. Brianne Horn is Marshall. And Monty Lehrman is Orlando, Mulhall, Orlando. So we have 2 from Marshall, 2 from Mulhall, 1 from Luther, and 1 from, okay, wait a minute. 2 from Marshall, 1 from Luther, 2 from Mulhall.
I'd say 1 each and 2 at large. What do you think?
Well,
Am I,
no,
Hearing it
because,
wrong?
no,
okay.
because we can fill them with at-large members. It was supposed to set out to be a 7-board member with the intent being a representative from each district. And then it also went on to stipulate that if we didn't get one from a district, it could be filled as an at-large. So I don't know if you have to specify which one is at-large, which one, I think that's up to
So
you
out
all.
of the original 7, we've got how many applicants?
And then what about,
I have
What?
5 applicants in 3 of the school districts.
I second Monty's motion.
that's fine. What do we do if, if somebody from one of those areas, like the Coyle Langston area wants to serve on the board.
We're still 2 seats
Well,
short.
Too
Well,
short.
but we're still too short.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
well, that'll work.
So I guess my next question, what kind of terms are these people appointed for?
They're given bylaws.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be,
They gotta set.
they're
their
gonna
own.
be a 4-year term that'll start out as a stagger.
Yeah, so we appoint them, I'm not sure, I'd have to go back and look at the statutes, but at some point, yeah, it does have to be a staggered board. How that determination is made, I'm not sure that's a determination we make here. on
I'll
our
almost
board.
bet you as the first appointment,
It
it
probably
probably
is,
is, to set
yeah.
them up on who staggers when. Although off the top of my head, I couldn't recommend, because I think usually when you establish, it would be, this one's gonna serve 1 year,
Mhm.
and then this one will 2 or 3, so that each year someone
Right,
comes up, which I know the other work that way. If you want to go ahead and approve these as members, and then we can do some research to establish the terms of each of these members, bring that back on the 31st.
Let's do that.
all right, sounds good. All right, so, your motion's modified to reflect that we'll
Exactly.
appoint then contingent upon coming back on the 31st to determine the length of the appointment for each member. All right, so, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Chairman, we have no items for 16 and 17.
Yeah. All right. Item 18, consideration and possible action to approve the following permanent road crossing permits for Navigator SMS Pipeline LLC. And there's a bunch of them, 20-inch oil line going across our county.
Are you gonna read it?
No, I mean, I will if you'd like for me to. I mean, I didn't mean to be snappy with the Sheriff.
Chris is supposed to online.
All right, Chris. here-
Latitude, longitude, yeah, I got it.
You got it? All right.
Troy, I got a question. As it's on. Say they get
Harder
7 members
without
on that board, and none of them from Coyle, but someone from Coyle wants to be on there.
My gut would tell me that if they've already appointed, they can apply for the next round, but I don't know that we would
No
go in and
new ones.
unappoint somebody from a term because somebody else finally showed up.
Okay. They don't supersede just because.
I don't
they're-
think so.
Okay. I wouldn't think so.
A willingness to serve goes a long way.
Sure. I agree.
I'll visit with Lowell some more on this.
Where are we signing this? Oh, okay.
I think it's the second page about it.
Thanks, sir. Ah, I found it. There were so many of them, I guess we ran out of pointers. No possibility. Somebody missed this one.
Yeah, same that.
How many? Probably signed the wrong one. I mean, you got, what, 3 or 4 of them in there. 'Cause I signed 2 on each one of them.
Maybe I signed in the wrong spot.
Could be.
Easy to get mixed up.
Are there 3 of these in each one?
Yeah, but we only signed 2. I think what's happening is some of us are signing on different pages. If you know what I mean. I signed 3 of those just so it came out right.
I'm just clueless on it.
Brian just signed the top 2.
Why we gotta have so many copies?
Well, got too many trees.
That's the second one there.
Thanks.
Page 3 on there, both.
Thanks.
The top 2 threes, I guess we should say. I think there's actually 3 of them.
can do 2 for each one, but that doesn't mean I pick the right one.
There's only 3 here. And there's only one
Well,
outside.
then I just missed the whole blessed thing. All right.
You can't have those. Yeah.
We're gonna take them off the policy.
Put them back together.
You're welcome.
There's a flat one.
Make a motion to approve the road crossing.
I will second. Marvin.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 19, consideration possible action on consent agenda.
Carol. come sign their claim. His is never signed till payday. I got one blanket. There are no transfers. Officer reports. You could start programming some elevator music to run.
Facebook friendly music.
There you go.
Does Zuckerman have to approve that?
Yes. They did change, basically company stream up to 4 hours, and then you have to change links. Now you can go to 8 hours.
That's some Kiwanis auction stuff right there.
That's exactly what the Christmas coins are going to be a lot easier now.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 20, consideration and possible action on approving claims for July 2019. And you got all these online now, don't you? That's pretty cool stuff, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
Yeah, thank you, Lonnie, for standing up that website for
Big push
us.
for that.
Huge push.
There you have
So see, we actually beat the governor in his putting the checkbook online.
Woo-hoo.
He followed our lead.
There you go.
He knows we're number one.
All the choice was to sort the pile back out afterwards.
One, that one, you were terrible on Marvin in District 1. You were 56 cents over.
Yeah, that's outside the scope of our we only allow 25 cents is our goal, to keep it to 25 cents. 52 cents, that's terrible, that's over half.
I think.
It'll get you.
I think you ought to leave. It's like Santa Claus, man. You leave him cookies and milk, right?
Right.
Auditors, you need to do the same thing with.
Give them something to look at.
You leave them something.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 21, consideration and possible action on approving purchase card payments for July 2019.
Purchase card.
You what?
Like to order another counter. Found that one.
You did, and then you told me, oh, we found the ones that were stolen, so I didn't order anymore.
Oh, okay. I'll get it squared away.
Okay. That's why I didn't go through. You said,
You're
oh,
all
we
right.
found those.
You're good.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve P card. Any further
Yeah, it is Prime
discussion?
Day, you know, I've got some shopping to do.
Hearing nothing wrong with that, all in favor say aye.
The law.
Aye.
Good law.
Aye or nay?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 22, any citizens desiring to be heard? Hearing none. Item 23, comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners. Mike?
Nothing necessarily in particular,
Okay.
other than the CD5 thing.
I guess that's my question is what direction does this board think the CED ought to go on management wise? You know, on our last agenda down there, they had to ask Randy Robinson to sit in as an intern. My thoughts on that, I thought it was kind of a conflict of interest. I mean, you take the honcho over the state board and put him on a CED5 board to manage it. Personally, I didn't like it, but anyway, just kind of give me some thoughts on what direction y'all like to go.
Well, the optimum for management, I think, would be ACOG, the crew there. And I think really, if we stayed in the CED5, that's the direction we ought to go. On the other side of the coin, Oklahoma County just, I guess, is renewing their deal, but it looks like they don't want to be in the CED5 either. However, you have to have 2 counties in order to make a CED, and therefore I feel like the marriage between Logan and Oklahoma County would be optimum for Logan County, for certain. I think one of the issues is that if we remove ourselves from CD5 all by ourselves, then where does the 12.5% that monthly comes out of CBRI going to go? And my understanding is that would go to the state CED for redistribution, unless we formed our own CED.
Well, I think our CED might have a chance to actually be something. I mean, we're fixing to switch over and have new management, and I mean, how much do we want to invest in that? I don't know. You know, it's always been CED5's wishes is to really not push it to go anywhere, not to do anything, just draw our money out of there yearly, and so I don't know. I mean, we can rock along and see what it does.
From day one, the push has been to get that money distributed directly to the counties. And even Carol was hired with the understanding that what her primary job is to get rid of the CED5, which of course she's failed on that as well. And get it going straight back to the counties. So I think that push is still alive at the legislature. I don't know for a fact. There is a distribution coming up, I understand, from there to the counties. I think it'll be a fair amount. I don't want to jeopardize that, obviously.
So Marvin, Mike's thinking ACOG would probably be our best way to go on management. What's your thoughts?
My thought would be the best way to go would be to dissolve CED5 to start with and start over. So that's my first choice. The second choice, if we have to stay in CED5, to get our funding out of the CED revolving fund, and that's the money we would miss. There's no CERB money can be withheld from a county because they're not a member of the CED. There's no, that's actually Randy Robinson's rule at OCCEDB that they made up. They made up a rule that they believe overrides state law. And so I don't think that that's anything that would bother us in the long term. However, it is that fear, uncertainty, and doubt that they sow amongst other county commissioners. If you don't belong to a CED, you can't participate in the CERB program, which is a bald-faced lie. And they perpetuate that. That's their narrative. So I really don't care for being around people I can't trust to start with, because they do perpetuate and embellish the truth. whenever it serves their purpose, when it suits their purpose. I am just very discouraged with the whole thing, Monty. I do appreciate you sitting in on that for us because it frustrates me, as you can tell. The lying, the cheating, the stealing, the backroom deals that go on there, I've got a real challenge with it. So as far as what we can do, like I said, if it can't be dissolved and we have to endure it, hopefully we can get some new leadership there that can help move in the right direction. That's all I have to say.
The only thing I'm worried about, obviously, is that CBRI fund, the 12.5% that comes from the CBRI monies that used to be taken care of totally by ODOT, but now is distributed to the counties, which we have our CBRI. 12.5% of what the county receives goes to fund our CED 5, and so if we don't have that fund going into CED 5, it reverts to the state. The CIRB fund is a different animal in that we give our 5-year want to ODOT, and then they figure out how they're going to get that money distributed between the divisions. Per law, it is per ODOT division, so therefore they're the ones that handle the money and It would be in our best interest if we were to remove ourselves from CD 5 and be able to become partners with Oklahoma County, because they get a much larger share of CBRI per month. Regardless, whoever is managing that, I believe that money ought to come, the payment for that manager can come from CIRB money. And I feel like we ought to be participating in that. We have not been paying Carol out of CIRB money. We have been paying her out of CBR money. And so I would like to see that change.
Anyway, all right, item 24, I'll consider a motion on that one.
Make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.